His walk rate continues to rise. He has great power. His average exit velocity, 90.3, good for 68th in the league last year. And his sweet spot percentage went up to 37.5%. Now, I'm concerned about his batting average. But Lenny touched on this morning, and Lenny did not know what I was planning to talk about, nor did I know what Lenny was, but they blend together pretty well. Lenny said, when you're drafting or you're redrafting or they're free agents, however he worded it, get some power hitters. Okay, do we agree that first base is not a deep position for power? If you agree with that, let me know. I think it is. I don't think it's a deep position. Not for power. Now, you've got a few studs at the top. You got Matt Olson. You got Freeman. You got Abreu. But you can't give me one on every team. You know, Rizzo, yeah, but he's got a bad back at times. The Dodgers, that could be a revolving door. The Padres, no. The Giants, no. The Diamondbacks, I don't think you can count on a lot there. I don't know who's playing first in Colorado. They're probably going to hit, but I don't know. The Pirates, Josh Bell, he had a career year last year, sure. Do we expect that again? Pete Alonso, stud bat. But the Nationals don't have a set man at first. You see where I'm going with this. For every team who does have a solid first baseman, there is one who doesn't. Who's playing first base in Kansas City? C.J. Cron's going to be playing first base for Detroit. I expect a big year out of him. But Justin Smoak for Milwaukee, whose ADP is somewhere probably around 300, to me could be a real bargain. And remember, he's a switch hitter. Throw him in the same batch with Ryan Braun, who now is going to get more at bats and more days off while he's batting because he can DH. I really like this Milwaukee team. In a short season, I think the Milwaukee Brewers and their players may well benefit as much as any team in all of Major League Baseball. And Braun can still steal a few bags. So can Avisail Garcia. So can Lorenzo Cain. And I haven't even brought up the fact that they may well have the best player in all of Major League Baseball in Christian Yelich. But success breeds success. And when you put these players together and you give them consistent at-bats and you're in a favorable ballpark, and let's face it, only playing Central Division teams, if that is the plan that's finalized, helps the Brewers too. I mean, you think about players who are in the East. You got to go up against the Nats, the Mets, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Rays, the Braves. Those are good teams. Those 6 teams I just rattled off, any one of them in this short season could win their division and make the World Series. The Central, I think it's wide open. Now, am I picking the Brewers? I'm not picking them. I'm only saying the stars are lined up for a favorable year. And for these 3 players, Smoak, Braun, and Avisail Garcia, depending on the depths of your draft, depending on the depths of your league, I like them. I like them a lot. Keep your eye on those 3 home runs. Avisail Garcia, Smoak, Braun. RBIs. And with Braun and Avisail Garcia, a few stolen bases mixed in. Let's talk about another player. And I just mentioned him. And I'm talking about power right now. I don't have to talk about power the whole show. But what about C.J. Cron in Detroit? The problem with C.J. Cron has been, at least in his career, lack of consistent playing time. Would you agree? I mean, he's just never found that spot where he could land, fall back, and say, hey, I'm going to play 155 games a year. It's never happened. So in the offseason, what happens? Detroit goes out and signs Cron. Remember last year for the Twins, in what I would say was a part-time role, he had 25 homers. He's now going to play for his fourth team in 4 years. He's 30 years old. And he's coming off his arguably best season. Last year, C.J. Cron set personal best in average exit velocity, barrel percentage, and hard hit rate, along with an improved, decreased strikeout percentage. No first baseman had a better barrel rate. Say that fast. On paper, Cron should also benefit from the change in venue. Comerica Park favors right-handed power while Target Field suppresses it. As a team, Detroit's offense will be below average. They're probably going to have a losing record. We can probably agree on that. And I have found that teams that lose don't score as many runs. Does that make sense? But there are going to be rabbits on the bases at times. Cron will be able to hold his own in home runs, to hold his own in RBIs, to hold his own in runs scored. He should eclipse on a prorated basis. Now, I know we're only going to have 82 games, so he's not going to play 140 or 150 games because there aren't going to be that many. But on a prorated basis, I can see Cron playing 70, 72, 75, which would have put him on a pace to play between 140 and 150 games. His previous high in the season was 140. I've said it before, first base is not a deep position. You can do worse than C.J. Cron. How many home runs over or under do you think C.J. Cron hits this year? I'm going to go with 14. 14, over or under. Because I think he can get to that number in a half season against the teams he's going to be playing against. Let's face it, there are a few good pitchers in the Central, but there are also a few who aren't that good. Maybe more than a few. And C.J. Cron's going to be getting regular at-bats for the Tigers. Again, if you're looking power, and you're looking power late in a draft, or maybe even as a free agent, I don't know how deep your league is, look for C.J. Cron. You may even can trade for him. And it's all about numbers, right? Fantasy is about numbers. Kevin Hastings says over 14. I think he can too. I am enamored with the idea of C.J. Cron. How about this player? Remember 2 years ago how we were awestruck with Miguel Andujar for the Yankees? And remember how Andujar was hurt last year, early in the year. I mean, his number is a 128 average with 1 RBI and no home runs. Are you kidding me? He didn't play. Now he's healthy. And with the emergence at third base of his replacement last year, I think Andujar is a great DH for the Yankees. Maybe he mixes in a few games in the outfield. Maybe he mixes in a few games at third base to give Urshela a break. I don't know about first base, but if he can work a few games there to give Voit a day off. Here's the thing about Miguel Andujar. The kid can hit the baseball. And you can't look at his 12 games last year and gather anything from that other than the fact he was injured and didn't play. I can see Andujar having a rebound stat line similar to 2018. Now, I know there are question marks. And one of the question marks is, where will he play? Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. But he's been working out at the Yankees complex in Florida at Heinz Field at least 5 days a week. No trouble with his shoulder. Says he feels great. Says he feels 100%. He's 25 years old. I think he plays a lot more than he doesn't. And I think Andujar is, and he will develop into a positional player, I believe, as the year goes on. These are just a few players, I got more, that I think really could be, and I know I'm talking about the Brewers. I got to go back to another Brewer. Here's a kid that last year in the minor leagues was just killing it. The Brewers make a trade. They send Trent Grisham to San Diego. They get back Luis Urias. How many of you are kind of watching on Luis Urias, sort of in the background, kind of got him on your radar, or no, not kind of. He is on your radar. You're interested to see what the Brewers do with the starting shortstop position, and how many of you think that if Urias gets it, that means he's gotten it? Last year at AAA, and I know we're talking about a league where the ball flies, but he hit .315, 19 homers, 62 RBIs. He only hit .223 with the Padres, but he was like one of the wonder kids that everybody wanted to grab when he was brought up to the league. And now he's being shifted. This is the thing. This cannot be said enough. Urias is going from a Pitcher's Park Petco to a Hitter's Park Miller's Park. Miller Park in Milwaukee is a massive upgrade for any hitter. Urias can steal bases. Urias can hit. He can hit with power. And I dare say, I bet in many, many leagues, he's on the waiver wire. He's a free agent. Lenny, thanks. Lenny has texted in, he's a Dozier Jeter type. Wow. Right field and center field, major upgrades for a hitter like Urias in Miller Park. But he had a 31.4% hard hit rate last year. His fly ball rate improved. Check this out, almost doubled from 12.8% to 24.5%. So he increased his fly ball rate, he increased his barrel rate, and now he's in a ballpark where that can only be a plus. I don't know where in the order, but if he gives you power, and he gives you batting average, and he gives you stolen bases, I think he beats out Orlando Arcia. The Brewers have given Arcia every opportunity, every chance, and let's just face it, guys, he hasn't developed into what the Brewers hoped he would. And Urias can do that. Now, Urias can also play third base. So if they go with Orlando Arcia at short, which I question, I really do, he could play another position. Are you really sold on Travis Shaw, people? Now, Travis Shaw just, maybe I'm wrong. He just seems to have lost it with me.